The long-awaited video of the most controversial topic related to skiing. The one thing that is even more controversial to bring up at Thanksgiving dinner, other than religion and politics. Long fixed grip poles or adjustable trash. The first thing lost on most new backcountry skiers is that they only view poles as a balance aid and a tool for downhill skiing, which is why they cannot comprehend the utility of a lengthy fixed grip pole. As I hope is evident in this video, if you have too short of poles or poles that have anything on the handle that would interfere with ice layers, you cannot use them to plunge through multiple layers of snow. An ice axe would not nearly be as useful in this terrain due to the amount of snow depth, and also not needed because the security is gained by going through multiple ice layers rather than through one single ice structure. Anatomically, this allows you to actually pull yourself up rather than press yourself up if you had an ice axe at waist level. Secondarily, a lengthy pole encourages more efficient techniques that were adopted from our XC and Schemo racing brethren. A lengthier pole allows you to fully extend your arm behind you, which uses your upper body as a propulsion aid. This significantly increases your uphill efficiency over the course of a long day. Beginner backcountry tourers only keep their poles directly in front of them, and they add nothing to the propulsion. They merely use them to keep their hands preoccupied and to add some balance. Lengthy poles also enable you to use an efficient double poling technique that cross-country racers use. In flat or rolling terrain, or terrain where you have to cross lakes, these techniques enable you to move considerably more efficiently than you would otherwise, especially in spring. They're not nearly as much use during powder. There are many situations where people that I've been with have not been efficient with these techniques, and it costs them a considerable amount of time to either force them into a transition or just take all day for something that can be accomplished very quickly and efficiently. And you simply can't do these techniques if your poles are not sized like XC poles. Poles that are constructed like this are also considerably stronger, as famously demonstrated by Brian Harder. This enables them to be used as deadman anchors, or even emergency rappel anchors. Any adjustable pole would snap under the weight of a full-grown man. This just gives you another option as an anchor in case you're sussing out a slope for stability and there are no trees or other natural anchors nearby. Or also if you're on an exploratory mission and get cliffed out and cannot go back up. Obviously provided that you're carrying a rope. They also have the useful effect of, in downhill mode, being tall enough for you to use a punching technique to prevent branches from hitting your face. There you have it, a tool that allows you to move in the mountains more efficiently, get you out of sticky situations, and protect you while downhill skiing. As I hope I've demonstrated, the uses for these far outweigh how nerdy they look. And just to comment directly, because people have asked me 100 times, no, I have never hit myself with the end of my pole. As you can see here, I use a slightly different technique where I angle the tip of the pole inward while turning, so that way if it does impact something, it shoots away from my body. Not that this has ever happened to me. There really are no logical reasons to dislike these poles, although admittedly they do look nerdy. But as Dane from Cold Thistle said back in 2013, can you open your mind? Or do you prefer to move slowly without any efficiency in the mountains, and to be lacking extra tricks to get you out of tight spots? The choice is up to you. Finally, I'll comment on available models. The two that I prefer are A216s, the originals from Chamonix, and also the Black Crow's Furtus. I personally prefer the Furtus. I enjoy the swing weight better. It's considerably stiffer, has a nicer feel, plunges better, and the grips do not freeze as much. The A216 is totally appropriate for most skiers, but if you're bigger like me, you'll probably bend it, which is another reason I prefer the Furtus. I cannot recommend fulcrum poles at this time because they are way too flimsy feeling, and they also have a lot of things at the end of the pole going on that do not allow them to plunge as easily through different surfaces. They put stuff at the end to allow you to manipulate your bindings easier. However, I do not have a problem with a totally smooth end of my pole like this, and so I will take the added ability of the pole to plunge through surfaces easier over that advantage. I also certainly wouldn't hang body weight off of a fulcrum pole. As a thick individual, I broke my pair of A216s in about 1 season of use, and my Furtus lasted 3 seasons. I'm hard on my equipment, and I would break a normal adjustable pole probably in less than 10 tours, if not even on the first time, which I have done. I also forgot to mention the most obvious advantage, which is that you have infinite adjustment when side hilling, which allows you to always pull at the most efficient angles. Finally, when overnighting, two of these poles lashed together can support a mid quite easily. And having been in storms where normal tent poles have broken half, I would certainly not use an adjustable pole for this purpose in the mountains.